This episode includes conversations about self-harm, murder, and other sensitive topics. Please take care of yourself and feel free to pause or skip if you need to. Also, everyone we mention is innocent until proven guilty. Any suspects or theories we discuss are based on public information and should be taken as alleged. We're just walking through what's out there. With that said, let's get into it. Enjoy the show.
I guess we'll start with our intro.
Hi, guys. Welcome to ZomBabes. My name is Amanda.
And I'm Sophia. I don't remember what our intro is.
Every theory is valid here. Hi, guys. My name is Amanda.
I'm Sophia.
Welcome to ZomBabes.
Where every theory is valid.
Except for flat Earth.
Y'all can leave.
We say it every time. Just get out.
We'll never remember it. I'm proud of us for remembering that without me having to pull it up.
Real.
Did that.
Real. It's been a minute.
Has it been a minute?
It's been normally we record
Been 2 weeks.
Yeah, normally we record every week though, don't we?
No.
Feels like it. 2 weeks this 2 weeks has felt long.
That's good.
Kind of, sort of, I guess.
What's been going on with you these past 2 weeks?
You know, it was just Halloween. That was fun.
Real time, just Halloween.
Yeah.
Right now, recording-wise, it's further along.
Yeah.
What is it? November something?
It's the second.
When this one comes out?
When it comes out. Not
shit.
not real life.
The 26th. It'll be right before Thanksgiving.
Ooh, Thanksgiving.
I'm so ready for some Thanksgiving food.
Same.
I just want them deviled eggs. I might bring the deviled eggs to the function this year.
Period.
Because they was good.
She made some deviled eggs, last weekend?
Mm-hmm.
I get home from work and I'm like, I'm not leaving my house again. I refuse. And then she sends me a picture of these deviled eggs with shrimp. And I was like, let me get some, being one of those cringe men that is just trying to
Let me get a plate.
take domestic women's plates.
Yeah.
She actually invited me over.
I said, come get some.
When I tell you I changed and hopped in the car so fast, pulled up, worth the drive.
And
This girl lives 20 minutes from me.
Yeah.
It's not just a little hop, skip, and a jump. That's a cruise.
But the deviled eggs was worth it,
Worth
though.
it.
She fucked them up.
I did.
We fucked them up. They were pretty good.
I honestly felt bad. I was like, I think I ate more than you did, bro.
I was like, girl, I'm already full. I already ate something for you got here. Go ahead.
Yes.
But they were delicious. They were delicious. Other than that, I tried to cut my dog's nails the other day.
Is this is your zombie struggle of the week?
Yeah. I've been trying to cut his nails for 10 months. Okay? If that gives you any idea as to how hard it is to cut his nails. And it's because every time I would even take him to the vet for them to trim his nails, they would have to put him to sleep because he's traumatized. I don't know what from. I don't know. Somebody probably hit the quick and it's traumatized this dog. But I gave him double the dose of CBD because she gave me some CBD for the dogs, right? Give him double the dose. My friend is over and I'm trying to clip his nails. He's running. He's screaming. He's running into a corner. We back him up into a corner and we've got him positioned. I got 3 nails on 1 foot and he's now trying to run away any which way he can. Literally on the corner, we're holding his paw up, right? And he's just sat and he keeps lifting up. And so my friend is holding him. This dog stands up on his back 2 feet. So he's standing in the corner with his back on the wall, trying to run away to get away. And I feel so bad, but I'm like, dude, last time they put you to sleep to trim your nails, it took you so long to wake up because he's getting older. So I don't want to keep getting him put to sleep because it scared me.
That's valid.
So now...
Well, and also, it's really hard on an animal's body to be put to sleep.
Yeah.
And getting your nails done is a little too common of a thing that needs
To be put
done.
to sleep, yeah. So
I'm shocked they didn't try, trazodone or something.
Oh, I gave him. They prescribed that for me, and I gave him what they told me to before he went in, and they still had to sedate him.
Damn.
Yeah. He does not like having his nails done. And every time he sees the clippers, he's out of the room.
If we have any dog trainers out there, send us some tips.
I mean, I've been trying the thing where you play with you handle their paws more often.
Yeah.
Where you put the clippers in front of them, but don't use them. Let him sniff them, but don't force it. Or try to do it when he pulls away, let him. So he realizes this is a thing we do. This isn't going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that for months. What do I do? So he's got 1 trimmed paw. The left one. Nice and clean. The right one.
That is one thing I will say, For me, Nova will not let me clip her nails personally. But if I take her to the vet or I take her to the groomer, she's just like, yeah. She rolls over. She's like, they've literally told me before, they're like, why don't you just clip her nails yourself? And I'm like, because she doesn't do that with me. She's like, no. Okay. You're right. No, I'll just take you to someone and pay the little $15 to get your nails clipped.
Yeah, I wish they won't do it with Jackson because he just gets he's never bitten anybody. Like he just barks or like screams. He doesn't whine, he screams because he's scared. And they won't do it because I mean, if you're taking him to a trimmer, he's like a 55-pound dog. Like they're gonna be like, whoa, we need to muzzle you or like something. You need to come up in here on some CBD, but it ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna do nothing. I'm like, I need to triple dose your ass so I can get.
We don't need to OD him.
I don't want to OD him on CBD, but dang. Ah!
Yeah, that's tough.
So he's got one hand that's just like snaggled, and the other one is nice and clean. This is how he's walking around right now. We're gonna have to put a picture of Jackson up here. He's the cutest little sweet baby, but don't touch them feet. Don't.
Yeah.
So what's been going on with you other than eggs?
Other than eggs, it's crazy. Because I also made some ramen with some soft-boiled eggs this morning.
Oh,
for breakfast.
More eggs.
That was my breakfast. Because I knew we probably weren't gonna eat lunch today, and then we're gonna have our late dinner. So I was like, yeah, let me get some hearty breakfast going.
Yeah,
soup. I really haven't had anything crazy going on. I did recently learn that, what's his name? Freddy Krueger. What is his name? Robert or something. Starts with an E, maybe. He recently got his start on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Halloween this year. And I just think that's super cool.
That is super cool.
Oh, Robert Englund.
Yes. Yeah. That man.
That one.
He was Freddy Krueger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty dope.
Cutesy, and I just love that he did it on Halloween.
That is pretty dope.
For the vibe. That's all I've got. Otherwise, I've just been
living
my life.
Well, shoot. What you got for us today?
So today, we're diving into a story that's both tragic and puzzling. It's a story that's haunted everyone who's heard it and one that doesn't have an answer still to this day. It is the case of Ellen Rae Greenberg, a young woman found dead in her apartment in a way that no one, including her family, believes was a suicide. So what happened to Ellen?
I'm actually personally so interested in this because we both almost did this story.
Right. And so, and some of the sources that I used was Wikipedia, CNN, and then Hulu's original series. They had like a little mini docu-series called Death in Apartment 603. Before I actually dive into it, I do want to just say, if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, please know that you are not alone and that help is available. You can call or text 988 in the U.S. to reach the Suicide and Crisis Line. It is free, confidential, and available 24/7. If you are outside of the U.S., you can find international hotlines at findahelpline.com, where you can search for support in your country. Please take care of yourself and reach out because there are people who care and want to help.
And we love you.
And I was about to say, now on a less serious note, but this whole thing is serious.
Yeah.
So buckle up, guys. If we need some trigger warnings, there will be discussions of suicide, death, murder. That's what we're doing here, guys, unfortunately. But this is a crazy one. And I had heard about the series Death in Apartment 603.
I've never heard about it, so I'm excited to see.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, and it was kind of like popping off recently, and I kept seeing like people talk about it online and things like that. And it's because they released the Death in Apartment 603 docuseries on Hulu. So let's get started. Before we dive into the details of her tragic death, first let's take a moment to remember who Ellen was. She was a beloved 27-year-old teacher living in the heart of Philadelphia with a promising future ahead of her. Ellen earned her degree in communications from Penn State University and went on to teach first grade at Juniata Park Academy. Juniata, in case you're curious. By all accounts, Ellen was warm, intelligent, and deeply dedicated to her students. She had a loving family, a fiancé, and friends who described her as kind-hearted and full of life. But that all changed on January 26th, 2011, when she was found dead in her apartment under mysterious circumstances. Greenberg's fiancé, Samuel, discovered her body after returning from the gym. When he arrived, the apartment door was secured from the inside with a swing latch. Unable to get in or contact her, he eventually broke the door open and found Greenberg unresponsive. He then called 911, telling the dispatcher that she had stabbed herself and fallen on a knife. Ellen was found on her knees, slumped in a corner, like on the corner cabinets in the kitchen, surrounded by a pool of blood, with a large knife stabbed into her chest. The scene looked like something out of a crime thriller, but what didn't add up was the lack of any signs of struggle. She had 20 stab wounds, with 10 being on her back and neck.
So how the hell did she stab herself? In the back.
Right.
And how did he... I already am questioning him. Continue. He's like, right, yeah. Yeah.
She also had bruises that were at varying stages of healing, covering her body. The apartment door was locked from the inside, so they say. Despite this, all of those stab wounds and everything, police quickly ruled it a suicide. But here's the thing, nobody believes that. Because why would you? She was stabbed 10 times in the back of her head and neck.
That's not really physically freaking possible.
Right. And I don't know if I wrote about this later. I might have, because I wrote these a couple of weeks ago. But, or a week ago or something. But I was finishing that docuseries last night. And the coroner, they ended up hiring like a second coroner or whatever to like do more investigation. And basically, she said something about there is a possibility that some of the stab wounds were post-mortem. Which, like, okay, how?
How is this a suicide?
Right.
If they're...
We're gonna... Hopefully we get there. I'm like, I got a lot of notes, so.
The fingers.
Okay, so nobody really believes that it was a suicide. Ellen had a life ahead of her. She was engaged to be married. She was well-liked, and by all accounts, she wasn't struggling with any kind of mental health issues that would point to suicide. So why was she found this way? And more importantly, why did the investigation wrap up so quickly? And it gets even weirder because the knife in her chest was not tested for fingerprints. Her phone records were not fully checked, and there was no deep dive into her life in the weeks leading up to her death.
The police 100% failed this one.
And Samuel, the fiancé, turn your light off.
Oopsie. Thanks for catching that.
Turn it off!
Mom, I'm scared.
Anyways, the fiancé was the last person to see her alive, and there was no real questioning of him. The case was closed with no deeper investigation into his behavior or any potential motives.
So you're telling me I could just murder somebody and be like, no, hold on, just follow.
No.
Hey, I'm not going to, but hey, I found this person. They stabbed themselves.
What's really fucking weird is the audio of the 911 call. And I don't know if we can put that in or anything, but if we can't, look it up. Because it is the most weird fucking... Oh my God, she like fell on a knife or something. Like, because I'm trying to remember what he says. He's like, oh my gosh, she's bleeding. And then the person on the other line is like, okay, well, start CPR. And he's like, okay. And then he flips her over and he's like, oh my God, there's a knife. Like he didn't acknowledge that there was a knife inside of her body as he's on the phone with 911 until he goes to start CPR.
We are about to play the real 911 call made by Sam Goldberg Jr. Please be aware that emergency calls can be deeply distressing or unsettling for some listeners. Take care of yourself. Feel free to pause or skip ahead 4 minutes if you need to.
No, I need everything out. I just walked into my apartment. My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere.
What is the address?
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please come help now.
4601
Flat Rock Road.
Is this a house or apartment?
Oh no! Oh no!
Apartment.
It's an apartment. Please hurry, please.
She bleeding from?
I don't know. I can't tell. She's.
No, so you have to calm yourself down in order to get you some help.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm looking at her right now. I can't see anything. There's nothing broken. She's bleeding. Ellie!
You don't know where she's bleeding from, Ken?
Ellie!
What's coming from?
I think her head. I think she hit her head, but it's up everywhere.
Okay, so
it's everywhere.
She might have fallen. Do you know what happened?
She may have slipped. There's blood on the table. Her face is a little purple.
Okay, hold on for rescue for her. Stay on the phone. What's wrong?
I went downstairs to go work out. I came back up. The door was latched. My fiance's inside. She wasn't answering. So after about a half hour, I decided to break it down. I see her now just on the floor with blood. She's not responding.
Okay, is she breathing? Look at her chest. I need you to calm down, and I need you to look at her chest. I really don't think she is. Listen to me. Someone's on the way. Look at her chest. Is she flat on her back?
She's on her back. So I bring her.
Look at her chest and tell me if it's going up and down, up and down.
I don't see her moving.
Okay, do you know how to do CPR?
I don't.
Okay, I can tell you what to do, okay, until they get there. I want you to keep her phone.
Oh, God.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, okay.
Are you willing to do CPR with me over the phone until they get there?
I have to, right?
Okay, so get her flat on her back, bare her chest, okay? You want to rip her shirt off, okay? Kneel down by her side.
Oh, my God. Ellie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir, because you...
Okay, I'm trying not to. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh, my God. She stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell with a knife. Oh, no, her knife's sticking out.
Her what?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't touch it.
Okay, so I just let her down here now. I mean, what do I do?
No, I mean, you can't. If the knife is at her chest, it's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Police, which operator? 277.
Someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said 4601 Flat Rock, right?
Yes.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
Wait, is there what?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I didn't take it out.
Was it her chest or what area?
It's in her chest. It looks like it's right in her heart.
Okay, someone's on the way out there. Okay, just get.
Oh my God!
How old is she?
She's 27.
27, and there's no sign of life at all.
No, please don't be. What?
Bend her under her arm and tell me if she responds to pain.
Ellie. She's not. Her arm, her hands are still warm. I don't know what that means, but there's blood everywhere.
I know, but you can't, and the knife is still inside of her. How far? Can you see how far it went in?
It looks pretty deep.
Okay.
It looks it's a long knife.
Don't touch anything. Yeah, don't touch anything. Okay?
I'm not touching anything. I can't believe this.
So wait, it was just you there with her?
We're the only ones here.
And she ran in the door. You said latched it shut.
No. I went downstairs to work out, and when I came back up, the door was latched. It was, it wasn't like it was, it was like locked from the inside. And I'm yelling, and I saw it was yelling.
Your house broken into?
No.
So there's no sign of a break-in?
No sign of a break-in at all. There will be when you get here because I had to break the latch, but to get in.
Okay, 46-year-old.
I don't know. It's so confusing and it makes no sense. like you couldn't see the knife when you had checked to make sure she was okay in the first place.
Like low-key, you're faking it.
That's what it sounded like to me. But also, he's out there living his life.
I mean, he's out there living his life, but this is fishy. We can say it's fishy.
It's fishy as fuck. It's fishy as fuck.
Stanky and fishy, stanky and fishy.
So again, Ellen's apartment was locked from the inside. There was no forced entry. There were no signs of struggle. So if she didn't do it to herself, then who did and how? That is the big question that has not been answered. And the more you look at it, the more the story falls apart. On January 27th, literally one day later, the apartment was professionally cleaned and sanitized after police granted permission. That same day, James Schwartzman, Samuel Goldberg's uncle and the chairman of the Pennsylvania Judicial Conduct Board, entered the apartment to collect work and personal items, including laptops, phones, and credit cards belonging to both Goldberg and Greenberg. So, Ellen and Sam. The following day, January 28th, investigators returned with a search warrant and recovered the items that Schwartzman had removed. Nothing was found on those computers that aided the investigation.
Why would you grant them the ability to clean it?
Because it was deemed a suicide, and they didn't investigate it like a homicide.
But then you come with this. I'm getting really angry right now. This is pissing me off.
So the other thing that's crazy is, when they came to get it professionally cleaned, it was like the uncle had requested to go into the apartment because it was deemed a suicide. The building manager had basically called the police to make sure that she was allowed to let someone in there. And the police were concerned about a family member seeing the scene. And so that's why they sent them in to clean it. But they didn't do any of the testing that you would do for a homicide before they cleaned it. So they wiped the entire crime scene because it's professionally cleaned. They grant someone access to information. And then, yeah.
I'm pissed off. Y'all, they 100% completely failed that situation. You have no context. Not context, but you're not using your context clues and using your common sense.
Right.
Whatsoever.
So one of the big theories is that someone else might have been involved, possibly Samuel, though no hard evidence has surfaced to back that up. No shit. Why would there be hard evidence?
You cleaned everything.
It all up. Another theory is that the scene was staged to look like a suicide, suggesting that someone else broke in, killed her, and made it look like she did it herself.
Especially if one coroner said that they were post-mortem stab wounds.
Right.
It would make sense.
Well, and they did say there's a possibility of post-mortem stab wounds. They gave basically, they were one of three things happened, and that's the only one that I latched onto. I can't remember the other one.
Well, if that happened, that would also make sense because someone obviously killed her out of complete rage.
Well, and so the weird part is Samuel went, her fiance, left to go to the gym, was at the gym for 30 minutes, came back, and then was berating her phone because she had locked the door from the inside, or so he claimed. And then he claimed he went down to the front desk so that he could get the concierge's help to get into his apartment. And apparently he came down a couple of times saying okay, finally, I'm just going to break in. And so he breaks into his apartment almost an hour later. And that's when he finds the body. But it's he also claimed that the concierge was there with him when he broke the door down, which ended up being false because they had cameras of yeah.
So he's an obvious fucking liar.
Right.
And you go to the gym for 30 minutes. Please be so real for me. Please be so real with me.
I'm unless you're only doing cardio,
it doesn't make sense. So,
but men don't work out for 30 minutes.
They don't.
I've been shamed by plenty of men for only having a 30-minute workout.
but also men don't do that.
No.
So it's like to me, my mind, I still have to hear the rest, but it feels like he did it. He set it up. He left, like probably changed his clothes and left because somehow he fucking got away without them searching fucking anything. And went to the gym as his alibi.
Right.
Went back and forth downstairs to the concierge and had the concierge come with him to the door, trying to build an alibi.
Right.
So he wasn't a target.
Right.
And the police did such little and horrible, shitty work.
Well, but also remember, his uncle is the chairman of the Pennsylvania Judicial Conduct Board. Like,
so he could literally get away with murder.
Cover up.
His uncle is going to help him because if he is a murderer, then that puts a thing against his uncle's reputation.
Because also, why would someone that's completely unrelated, like that's her fiance's uncle. That's not her uncle that's going in and taking things from the crime scene.
And let's say, like, that's not even, like, her fiance's parent, you know?
Right.
That
like,
what are you here for? Other than to get this technology and get someone else you know to wipe it.
Yeah.
The system is broken. It's fucked. We all know this.
I don't remember where I left off.
Your nails are cute.
Thanks. There was no evidence of forced entry, which also doesn't make sense to me because he literally forced himself in.
If you had to break down the door, yeah.
But so that could have tainted whatever forced entry there was. But there was also no defensive wounds like on her hands, which is weird. Like her hands didn't have any defensive wounds. It was just the stab wounds on her chest and back, or like body and back.
I mean, to me, like I said, I don't know the rest of this, but like, what if she got stabbed in the back multiple times because the knife was found in her chest?
Right. It's just very abnormal
that she wouldn't fight back.
That there's no kind of wounds on her hands. Because that's like usually what you do.
You put your arms up.
Right. Yeah. To block yourself.
But it's the back of the head, right?
Right. But it's like you wouldn't turn around and like.
I mean, if you get stabbed in your brain.
Right. Can you turn around?
So when I was watching the documentaries, I don't think there were any stab wounds to her brain, but there was potentially some damage to her spinal cord, which could have made her feel numb.
It could have paralyzed her.
It didn't.
Ooh.
But so from what I watched on the documentary, it did not paralyze her, but it could have potentially made her feel numb with the spot that it hit. I don't know how that works. That's what they say.
I mean, there's so many nerves and like your spine is over so many things. Like,
right. So 2 days after Ellen's death, medical examiner Dr. Marlon Osborne instead listed Ellen's matter of death as a homicide. However, on April 4th, 2011, Osborne changed Ellen's manner of death to suicide after a meeting with the Philadelphia Police Department. This meeting also learned in this, because, you know, I wrote these notes and then I binge watched this series. And so now, like, I'm just inserting my memories here. But I remember this man was interviewed in this docuseries and he states that he did not personally take any notes from that meeting. And they asked him why. And he just repeats his answer. I do not have any notes from this meeting.
If he says a thing, he's probably like...
And they're like, but why? And then he's like, finally he says like, notes were taken and stored, but I personally do not have any notes from this meeting. And I'm like, but it was enough information. First of all, you can't talk about what was said, but it was enough for you to change to suicide.
He probably was extremely threatened because wait, what? Where does his uncle work again? Is it in Philadelphia?
I mean, it's all in Philadelphia. Yeah, Pennsylvania. The chairman of the Pennsylvania Judicial Conduct Board. Seems relevant.
Something's very fishy about that.
After the initial investigation, Ellen's family refused to accept the verdict. Reading is hard. They felt like something was being missed. They felt like their daughter, their sister... I wrote that weird. Okay, she has siblings, so I guess I wrote it. They felt like their daughter, their sister, they were treating her like just another case. that had gotten swept under the rug. So what would they do? I can't read.
You wrote it.
I know. I literally can't read. So they did what any family would do. They fought for answers. And after years of pushing, I'm not smiling. I can't smile during this. This is too serious. Okay.
This is how we cope with our trauma. Okay.
I'm just laughing at my lack of ability to read and my ADHD popping off because there's people slamming doors on this side and then Nova was barking over here and I'm like, words. And of course I just write a massive fucking paragraph. And so it's like, where am I? Okay. Sorry. Anyways, after that spiral, we're back. We're locked in and they did what any family would do. They fought for answers. And after years of pushing, the case was finally reopened for review in 2015. But despite all of that effort, they still didn't get any new answers, just a whole lot of dead ends. In 2022, online investigators revealed connections between Josh Shapiro and the families of Samuel Goldberg and James Schwartzman. Who is Josh Shapiro? Please tell me I wrote that. As a result, the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office transferred the case to the Chester County District Attorney's office to prevent any appearance of conflict of interest. The Chester County District Attorney later declared the case inactive, relying on findings from an independent forensic consultant who held an undergraduate degree in the study of insects but had no medical background. The decision drew significant criticism from Greenberg's legal representatives and members of the true crime community. Because what?
That doesn't make any sense.
Relying on findings from an independent forensic consultant who held an undergraduate degree in entomology but had no medical background.
So how can you use them?
I mean, I know we don't have a degree in this, but it's not like we're, making any decisions on cases.
I would want someone to have a freaking degree.
A freaking degree.
Have the degree.
Where is the degree?
Go to school. Have the degree. Why are you going to do that for a fucking cold case?
Yeah, that's crazy.
They failed at every opportunity they had in this, even years later.
And they didn't take any DNA.
This is shitty, horrible police work.
Yeah. The Greenbergs spent years trying to get someone to listen, to really open the case and dig deeper. But here we are over a decade later, and it's still a cold case. The more they fight, the harder it seems to get the truth. And the most frustrating part is that the answers are out there, but no one seems to be willing to put the work in to find them. In October of 2019, Ellen Greenberg's parents filed a civil lawsuit in the Pennsylvania Court of Common Pleas against the city's medical examiner's office and Dr. Marlon Osborne, who conducted the autopsy. They sought to change the manner of death from suicide to homicide or undetermined, citing new evidence and claims that Osborne altered his conclusion under police pressure. So basically,
after that meeting,
they think he changed it because they pressured him to do it.
100%. He won't even talk about the notes.
He refuses to, And using photogrammetry, a technology unavailable at the time of her death, experts created a 3D model of Greenberg's wounds, showing that several could not have been self-inflicted.
Duh.
In January 2020, the court allowed the case to proceed. The Pennsylvania Attorney General's office reaffirmed the suicide ruling in February of 2022, a decision criticized by Greenberg's parents. That August, the Chester County District Attorney reopened the investigation after the Attorney General's office recused itself due to potential conflict of interest. On July 30th, 2024, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court agreed to review challenges to the ruling. In February of 2025, and this is a lot, so we're jumping through it. The settlement required the case to be reinvestigated. Dr. Osborne later filed a sworn statement retracting his earlier conclusion, stating that based on new information, Greenberg's death should not be classified as a suicide. However, on October 10th, 2025, Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Lindsay Simon issued a 32-page report reaffirming suicide as a cause of death. She acknowledged that the injuries were unusual, but maintained that Greenberg could have inflicted them herself. Simon also suggested that the spinal defect seen in the autopsy photos might have been resulted from an autopsy probe and would not have necessarily prevented movement. So here we are, years later, with no answers. Greenberg's death remains one of those cases that doesn't sit right with anyone who hears it.
Yeah, I'm actually pissed off. I'm actually mad.
Was it really a suicide?
No.
Or was there something darker that happened that day? The locked apartment, the missing evidence, the questions surrounding her fiancé, there's just too many pieces that don't add up. In the end, Ellen's family still doesn't have the closure they need. They still don't have the answers. As long as the truth remains hidden, this case will continue to be one of the most mysterious and frustrating unsolved deaths we've encountered. Her fiancé has only spoken about her death once to CNN in December of 2024. When Ellen took her own life, it left me bewildered. She was a wonderful and kind person who had everything to live for. When she died, a part of me died with her. Unimaginably, in the years that have passed, I have had to endure the unimaginable passing of my future wife and the pathetic and despicable attempts to desecrate my reputation and her privacy by creating a narrative that embraces lies, distortions, and falsehoods in order to avoid the truth. Mental illness is very real and has many victims. I hope and pray that you never lose someone you love like I did to a terrible disease and then be accused by ignorant and misinformed people of causing her death.
I'll be ignorant today.
Literally.
I'm so...
Because that's such a dry fucking response.
That's such a selfish response. This isn't about her death. This is about me. Stop accusing me. I was the last person to see her and we lived together and my alibi is shitty, but stop accusing me.
Well, but then the other thing on top of it is it's like he's just accepting this whack-ass claim.
He's only spoken on it once.
He does not have any contact with the family anymore.
Because the family probably is like, yo, they need to be looking at you. Your family came in, took all the tech, and cleaned this shit.
I don't think the family has ever pointed fingers at him specifically.
People that are spectating have.
Right.
And we're allowed to do that. We're not saying you did it, but we're saying, something is stanky over here. It's not making sense. It's not adding up. And what are you talking? The police work is so horrible. Even in 2025, you're going to try to tell me that that's a fucking suicide?
Yeah. So what do you think happened to Ellen?
I'm so mad.
Was it really a suicide?
Fuck no.
Or something else.
I truly feel so bad for her family. I am so sorry that you guys have been having to fight for an actual answer for years and you just keep getting shit.
Well, and the really fucking heartbreaking part is this discovery or this final decision came out this last month.
Yeah.
And that was not included in the docuseries that I watched. And the docuseries, they still had hope that there was going to be a different outcome. And even if they never discovered who the killer was, they at least knew she wasn't deemed death by suicide. And that meant there were still potential for things to come out. But with her death being deemed a suicide, investigation stops.
But also, let's talk about how they keep moving it to different places because of conflict of interest.
Right.
What the fuck is the conflict of interest? Yeah. How you have people who aren't trying to be whistleblowers because they know somebody is helping cover this up. What's the conflict of interest? There's no context there. The system is completely fucking corrupt. We've been known that. It was set up to be corrupt. So it would.
I should have worn my fuck the government.
It would not shock me in the slightest that instead of, and I'm going to say this, call me ignorant. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest if for whatever reason they had an argument and he didn't want to be with her anymore and it felt easier to him in his mind to murder her instead of just break up.
That part.
And so he did it and then had his uncle help cover it up.
Right.
Came up with a shitty alibi.
I just want to know how that door was locked.
And I want to know how she stabbed herself in her fucking back.
Because also,
Same.
So, it's one of those swing latches where there's like the little hook and then the little loop and it like latches.
Yeah.
There has to be a way to do that.
Right. I'm pretty sure you can do it where you like close the door and you can like kind of with your finger before it's closed all the way and then it kind of just like.
Because that was the only thing that was locked, right?
I mean, he had a key.
Right.
So
but
the latch was the reason he couldn't get in. That's the only reason they say that it was a suicide is because there was no way.
So that's the only thing you look at to determine if this is a suicide instead of looking at any forensic evidence?
Well, and the other thing is he still broke through that. For all we know, he broke through that while they were having an argument. She locked him out because they were having an argument, and then he still broke through it and murdered her and then did all this shit to figure it out.
I'm not satisfied.
Anyways,
with this.
I want to hear your thoughts also in the comments. But this story isn't over yet because, of course, we have to see what Reddit has to say. Can't forget that part.
Let's see.
This one might piss you off for real.
It probably is.
This is from r/true crime discussion. Independent-fall 928 said, just finished the Hulu series, Suicide versus Murder. And they basically lay out reasons why they think it's a suicide, reasons why they think it's a murder. So buckle up. Reasons why I think it's a suicide. Her anxiety leading up to the day. There was discussion about her dealing with anxiety. She had gone and seen a therapist or a psychiatrist regarding anxiety, and she was recently put on anxiety medication. Okay. Whatever.
Most of us do that. We're all fucked up.
Right. So her anxiety leading up to the day, was it work-related pressure, pressure from planning a wedding, or being in an abusive relationship? Could it be all of the above? But even her colleague made a comment to his daughter-in-law that day, calling her crazy when they were leaving school early that day because of the snowstorm. He said in the documentary that she seemed on edge and had to talk her off the ledge. In a way, it seemed like she was an open book and would tell her friends she was not doing well. But on another hand, it seemed like she didn't want to disappoint people and just kept things to herself. 2, new medication, suicidal ideation on med adjustments is a very real thing. And she was starting 2 new medications, Ambien and Klonopin, while also weaning off of Zoloft, I believe. And that can be very dangerous if it is not monitored closely. 3, hesitation wounds. That's all it says. I think some of the images of like the 3D model, it looks like some of the stab wounds are very surface level, like they didn't fully go in. And so some people say that like it could be her kind of reaching behind and like not actually stabbing all the way.
I'm so for real. If you're going to commit suicide, you're not going to stab yourself in your back because you can't get a good hit.
Well, and also, and I don't know if one of them I'm sure talks about it, but I'm going to talk about it now. It is very, very, very uncommon for women to commit suicide in such a violent fashion.
Yeah.
Women don't do that at all.
No.
They'll like overdose on pills or do something else, like maybe slit their wrists, but
not stab themselves. How many? 22
it's
times?
Just so violent of a way to kill yourself.
Somebody did this out of anger and rage. And also, hold on, pause. I'm so sorry to cut you off. This is actually like really pissing me off right now. What's with the abusive relationship?
Well, because they had discovered like 11 bruises on her body of varying.
So if she's in an abusive relationship, is it really that much of a shock to think that an abuser would also become a murderer?
Right. But then at the same time, she works at a school. She works with kids. It's easy to get bruised.
It is.
Working with children.
It is.
Like I used to work with kids with autism and I stayed bruised up. So.
Continue.
Just trying to see all sides here.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm trying to see all sides, but it's one side's not making sense.
She
So
said,
I can't.
I'm trying to see both sides, but I'm blind out of my left eye.
I'm using common sense right now. Because I will say mental health is definitely a really tricky thing. And like, you never know who's truly struggling with mental health. But it's just not, the math is not mathing.
Right.
2 + 2 is 4.
Right.
4 + 4 is 8.
Correct.
This ain't making no fucking sense.
True. I mean, yeah. I think what really gets me, like what really takes the suicide part away from me is how violent it was. And like,
yeah,
for someone that is like such a, I don't want to call her a people pleaser, but like that's what it seemed like her friends kind of described her as. They said it in a lot nicer of a way, but like, I don't see someone that is a people pleaser killing themselves in such a horrific fashion.
Yeah, no.
Because they, like, realistically, a people pleaser, if they really want to end their life, they would do it in a way that's like the easiest to kind of cope with.
Because they're even going to try to people please with their death.
Right.
You know, like, and I'm just still stuck on the stab wounds in the back. I can't not wrap my head around that. That does not make sense to me in the slightest. That would immediately point to homicide for me. I would have looked into that before I labeled anything a suicide.
Yeah.
If she has stab wounds in her back, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
3 more reasons of why they think it's a suicide.
Let me hear them.
The door being locked / door latch. Unless Sam went to the front desk asking him to unlock the door, knowing he wasn't allowed to leave that desk. What are the chances he said yes and went up with him? Would Sam lie and say, oh, she's calling me back now, never mind? He went down twice asking for help with a door, which is risky in itself if the door was never locked to begin with, or he had already murdered her and broke down the lock to this stage already.
I feel like he only went down there multiple times. Okay. Alibi. Alibi.
But what if the guy did come up to try and help him with the door and found the fucking dead body?
He would have flipped it around some way, somehow.
The same way, probably.
Yeah.
The towel in her hand. I don't remember seeing this, and I must have not been paying close enough attention when I watched this documentary, but apparently they said, not sure how this plays into it, but it could be a way for her to bear down and have something to squeeze during her own strikes, kind of like to tolerate the strikes. Think someone who has to pop a bone back in place during an injury. With no assistance around, they're always biting onto something to tolerate the pain for a moment. Makes me wonder about the head and neck strikes. Was this a way for her to numb the other strikes? I'm not sure. And then they were together 3 years before they got engaged. All of a sudden became so withdrawn and down that people in her life noticed, but also never not once mentioned to anyone, including her psychiatrist, that he was abusing her if he did. No diary entries of some sort or text messages to friends. Maybe he was love bombing her during the courting and dating phase and became more abusive once they were engaged.
It's normally how they do it.
So that's the reasons for suicide that this person believes. Now, reasons why I think it was a murder. Possible cover-up, strong connections. The police report was very in Sam's favor, using words like he immediately, etc., etc. They also put in the police report that the man at the front desk went up with him and witnessed the door being locked when that wasn't true.
Ring the alarm. Ring the alarm.
Reason 2. Very fishy that Sam's uncle took her cell phone and laptop. They mentioned that her laptop didn't have a password, but her phone did. So that leads me to think that the suicide searches on her laptop are null and void because they said searches could be added with changed timestamps or dates. But how about her cell phone? I'm assuming the police never looked through her cell phone, so we'll never know. The fact that he had her laptop for 48 hours makes those searches irrelevant in this case, knowing this information to me. Also, just another thing, the searches that were on the laptop were like painless ways to die, or like basically trying to figure out like the easiest way to kill yourself.
So why would she stab herself in the fucking
why, if you're looking at that kind of stuff, would that be like her?
And
not
also,
saying, first of all, don't do that. I will do my whole. We're gonna put this in the bio about the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline because this is such a heavy like topic to just be like what seems to be lightly talking about, but like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
zero. This entire case makes no sense.
well, because it's like, even if she was searching for suicide ideas, which is such a crazy statement in the first place, like, you're going to do the exact opposite of everything you researched.
And also, what were they saying about the laptop, how it can change timestamps and
Right.
dates?
I mean, yes, you can change the timestamp. So, like, it could be that they added stuff in
exactly
to make it seem like she was having suicidal ideation. But
wow.
even then, the searches did not match the method.
What a shock that you let somebody take their technology and then they can go on there and Google, how to die, and add it. What a shock.
Reason 3. Bruising on her body and some type of bruising on her neck consistent of manual strangulation. If this information is legit, it makes sense why she did not have any defensive wounds. If he was manually strangling her and holding her wrist down, bruises on her wrist that were shown, then of course she wouldn't have defensive wounds. Also, the knife board placement, why was it knocked over? So some signs of a struggle exist. If this was a spontaneous suicide while she was cutting fruit with a knife, the knife would have already been in her hand. So why was it knocked over?
Wow, maybe the police could have figured this out if they actually searched the fucking house.
They actually fucking tried.
If you actually did anything.
Also, the spontaneity of it all. They were together all day. It seems like in the 40 minutes or so that he went down to the gym, she did this. I know it's possible, but it seems odd. It seems more likely that they had a fight of some sort and he went down there to clear his head. Or he could have done it already and wanted to create his alibi.
I think the third one.
Her parents did say she was planning on coming home, but was vague about the details. We all know what can happen in domestic violence situations when the victim tries to leave. Maybe she was calling off the wedding that night. Could have also been why she was so nervous and so anxious, because she knew that she did not want to marry this man.
Do we have any info on Samuel's life since?
He's married and has kids now. Yeah.
Nothing interesting, like...
He's like lived a pretty private life.
I mean, probably because he's like this close to being figured out if he did anything. But
yeah.
It would just been, I was just curious if he had like any other history of being an abuser in his life.
Not known. I mean, we don't know what happens behind closed doors, and I'm not going to be the one to make accusations.
Yeah.
But
I mean, don't want to make an accusation, but if it's out there, ding, 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 ding.
There's no history of that in his record. But again, if he was able to clean up a murder,
he could clean up anything.
What else could he clean up? Exactly. Anyways, this person continues. All in all, I'm still 50-50 on this. I've actually never heard of this story before, so I'll definitely be doing a deep dive on it. Listen to ours. Hey.
Hey. Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add that I'm missing? Big condolences to her family and friends. Seemed like she was such a bright light in her people's lives. Both sides of the coin are very sad here. Edit. So after discussing with people and finding more information over the last few days, I found some other key points that are really bothersome. A second knife was used, but they couldn't find it. Does anyone know anything about this? That's a huge red flag. She was leaned over the sink to get to the back of the neck. Then why was there no blood found there? If she pulled the knife out, you would think there would be a few drops of blood there as well. And the door latch. If he broke it open with his shoulder and the door busted wide open, as he claimed, you would think the whole latch on the door frame would have come off with the actual door opening, not just the nails on the part that's attached to the door. I don't see how the entire door latch with both parts, including the door frame, would not be damaged in this scenario. All tea. Everything they just said, and I forgot to look into all of those things. Fuck. I'm like, I literally read this the first time, and I was like, I'm going to have to circle back and do a little more research on that. Didn't have the time in that moment, and apparently I never had the time. Oops. But I do remember seeing an image of the door latch, and it literally just looks like a little off the door, but it's like, when my house got broken into, my entire... what is the side panel thing? Door frame. My entire door frame was fucked. like blown off the wall. The whole thing is patched.
Yeah, I mean, I had my bedroom door got broken whenever I was younger, and the entire door frame on the side like came off with it. There's no way to break into a door that's locked.
Yeah.
And not take the door frame with it, especially if it has a latch.
Right.
It's going off. This is actually truly. Do you have another story?
I do.
I'm gonna let you read it before I get pissed off again.
I mean, this one is shorter. It also it's a lot shorter, but it had a couple of replies that I just thought were interesting.
Let's hear it.
So this is from r/skeptic. Dawn the Fear Creeper says, death of teacher Ellen Greenberg, who was stabbed 20 times, ruled a suicide again. This post may be different from most on the sub, but I just wanted to know what you fellow skeptics think about it. TLDR, if you're short on time, basically this woman was found by her fiance dead in her apartment. She had stab wounds stab wounds all over, including her skull and neck, chest, and in her back. Her fiance claimed the door was locked from the inside of the apartment when he came back from the gym. Coroner originally ruled it a homicide before changing it to a suicide. The family took it to court to get new separate autopsy done, and they succeeded, only to get the same result: suicide. I personally am very skeptical that it was murder, but my God, the people who believe otherwise believe it with their full chest. Because how the fuck do you not, stupid? Sorry.
Valid.
I understand the parents wanting to believe their daughter didn't kill herself, but the others who have no attachment to this young woman sure are intent on making their conspiracies our reality. A sign of the times. Why did I pick this story? They're pissing me off already. One last thing. The AG in this case was none other than Josh Shapiro, the now governor of Pennsylvania and the obvious 2028 presidential hopeful. No idea if that's pertinent at all, but just an interesting aside. Scientific Skepticism replies, this is apparently the locations of the 20 wounds, and there's an image of...
Let me see. Okay, so yet again, she didn't do that to her fucking self.
This person says, looking at this, I'm skeptical that it's suicide. Certainly you can stab yourself numerous times and do superficial damage, but the back of the head is not usually the location. And severing the spinal cord, but then keeping going is ... certainly something. The Philadelphia police stating something is about the exact opposite of a good source. They're notorious for reclassifying things like rapes as non-crimes. Apparently, the medical examiner initially ruled homicide, then changed the ruling on behest of the police, who wanted to investigate it as a suicide. Strikes me as a classic rug sweeping. Dork of the poli-sci replied, this. It is not implausible that someone attempting to take their own life would have multiple smaller wounds, but I would expect those to be somewhere easily reachable, not on the back of your head and neck. And given how often crimes against women and girls are not treated with the seriousness they deserve, I don't think it's entirely inappropriate to be skeptical of the findings.
I'm not skeptical. I don't fucking believe it. It doesn't make sense. None of this is adding up. It's shitty, horrible police work. Y'all did y'all's absolute worst in this situation. And the people who are involved in this case and did that shitty work, I feel like you shouldn't have a job.
Period.
You should be fired without pay. I don't mean get a suspension. I mean fired. Never allowed to work somewhere again. But you're the police, so what? You'll just go to a different county and get hired again. This system, I'm so pissed off. This actually really pissed me off.
I'm so glad.
It's
my job.
I'm laughing because I'm actually mad right now.
I'm scared.
I'm actually pissed off.
I'm gonna have to deal with this later.
I'm gonna be ranting about this for an hour.
Yeah.
No, because this is. You're gonna have to insert this photo.
Oh,
because
yeah,
there is no. Hold on, turn it again. Let me see.
So okay,
I'm counting how many. 1, 2, 3,
it's 20,
4.
babes. It's 20.
How many are in the back?
It's a 10. There's 10 in the back. 10 or 11.
So
But you see how deep those are? Like,
exactly.
those are deep.
There's
as hell.
no,
like.
there's
Okay,
no way.
These are very surface level because, like,
It's her skull.
right. Think. Stab in here. It's also the angle.
It's coming straight. It's not like she's holding it. It's not turned at it. Because if you're going to stab yourself in the neck, your arm is turned like this. It's going to come from the side.
Right.
It's not going to be straight. You can't stab yourself. You would not be able to get full force coming straight back like this.
Well, and that's what people are kind of claiming. They're like, well, these are all surface level.
Don't
yeah,
piss me off.
because your fucking skull is there.
Okay, but still there's some in the back that are deep, no?
Yeah.
So
that's not humanly possible, I feel like.
It's not a ton in the actual backpack. It's mostly like, I don't think it's classified as back because I think it's just right below the neck. But it's all like back of head and neck.
But if you're going to stab yourself like that, it's not going to be coming straight on. It's going to be turned at a fucking angle. Because you can't turn there's no way you can hold a big ass knife like that.
Also, the fact I forgot that there were 2 knives and one was never found. Like, that's actually crazy. But also, they say it was never found, but I don't think it was ever looked for.
It wasn't because they let them clean and sweep the fucking house of all evidence. You guys deserve to be fired. And I still want to know what the fuck is the conflict of interest that y'all keep having to move this around. Well, Shapiro, what's his name?
Josh Shapiro.
Is he controversial? Because if he has a shitty history, would it surprise you that he would help his family member cover a murder?
Oh, I'm
well,
so sorry.
he's not the family member.
Oh.
He just knows the family.
Close enough. If they're related to the
No,
uncle.
he is a Democrat.
Oh. I can still hate on a Democrat.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
they're not that much great. So can we?
They're not that much great.
They're not that much great. Bring back Bernie. Bring back Bernie. Please give
that
me
man
Bernie.
just wants to rest. Bro.
I know, but he's still fighting, and he's such an old, cute man, and he's trying. And I love
But he
him.
also understands that old people don't need to be in
I
office,
know.
which is why he hasn't continued to try and run.
We should have gotten. But put me on the timeline where we had Bernie.
Well, he's still a senator, and he's still doing it.
I know.
I mean, yeah, he's still a baddie, but
For sure.
but he also understands we don't need an elderly president.
When you get old and senile, you shouldn't be in there. Anyways, what about him? Do you have anything on him? Not really.
I mean, not really. I'm just seeing surface shit right now. I mean,
yeah, they're not going to bring out the down and dirty.
Yeah, I'd have to
on the first page of Google.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And do we know anything about the uncle?
Other than his job, no.
This whole case is just pissed.
I'm like, and the worst part is, it's like, okay, time to transition to happier hours now. What you got that's bringing you joy in your life right now? Let's end on a positive note.
Should we take a breath?
I'm going to say one more thing before we flip.
Right.
I really do feel bad for Ellen's family and her friends. Like, this has been like a long ongoing thing. I mean, like you said, last month, they deemed it a suicide again. I don't know what else you guys can do. It's a really horrible, shitty situation, and the system has completely failed you guys. So I hope with that you can try to find some healing within this.
I don't think they will. I think they're literally just going to continue to fight because,
I mean, as they should.
They've been doing that for the past, 15 years now?
Yeah, and you should continue to fight, but
yeah.
You're not having anybody really help you. So that is horrible.
Yeah. I mean, they do have like people helping. It's just not the people that can
people that you need.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what is your happier hour?
I really wish I had something prepared because this was a rough one. I'm really happy since it's Thanksgiving in real life over there on that side of the camera. I'm really excited. It's Thanksgiving and my entire family is going to be here and I'm going to have like 5 people staying in my house with me and it's going to be a whirlwind of a time. Super exciting, super fun, but also chaos. So that's what I'm thankful for. What are you thankful for on this Thanksgiving episode?
The Thanksgiving food.
Period.
Run me them deviled eggs and that stuffing. And
what was that?
Huh? What? My phone is on airplane mode.
I'm done. Sure don't sound like it, girl.
It is.
Oh, you just got
And my ringer's off.
Positive affirmation.
So why is it? Let's see. What does it say, guys? Here's our happy hour. What's this positive affirmation I just got? I love myself with the same passion as I love others.
Period.
Period. Yeah, I'm just excited for the food. I'm going to show up to my parents' house and eat everything. And I'm going to take a whole, probably 3 plates home, and I'm going to eat that shit for a week.
I love that.
I love that for me.
I really love that for you.
I'm saving money on groceries that week.
Period.
But yeah.
Well, thank you guys for tuning into ZomBabes. We'll be back next week with more stories that need answers and more mysteries to unravel. And more cases that just don't go away. So until then, stay curious, stay skeptical, and most of all, stay safe.
And let us know what you think about this story in the comments, because I would love to know everybody's opinions.
Give us a like, subscribe.
Follow us on all of our social medias. They'll be linked down below. And yeah, also send us your stories.
Please.
If you have any stories, whether it's, something that you want us to look into, whether it's something paranormal that's happened to you, because we also talk about that, send it to us at the ZomBabes podcast at gmail.com.
I do a listeners episode so bad.
Do. Please send us something.
And we have a couple. But
yeah.
I don't think it's enough for a whole episode. So.
Yeah. But we would love to read your stories and figure out what's going on with you guys. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
That was a long one.
That really pissed me off.